Episode 106. I just want Mr. Foster. Jade secretly made up her mind. If Bruce dared to act recklessly, she would bite him to death. When the right moment came, she would take advantage of her last trace of rationality and kill him. She couldn't let Mr. Foster down. Bruce revealed an evil smile and pinched her face with one hand. He touched her trembling waist with the other. Just as he was about to kiss her, his whole body suddenly went flying. He smashed heavily against the wall of the room. Bruce had no idea how the person who attacked him came in. How did he get behind him? Before Bruce could react, his attacker kicked him again and then directly stepped on the hand that he had broken the last time. "Ugh!" Bruce screamed. His handsome face twisted in pain. The man didn't seem to be satisfied with the first kick, so he kicked Bruce in the thigh again. The hard soles of his shoes almost broke his leg. At that moment, Bruce had no strength to resist. Just as he struggled to get up and see who it was, he was kicked to the ground again. This kick landed on his stomach, causing him to vomit blood. Bruce was beaten unconscious in a short while. He wasn't even able to see who his attacker was, but he felt that the man's powerful aura and cold feeling were familiar. Jade's body was hot because of the drug. She started to feel dizzy, and her vision began to blur. When she heard Bruce's scream, she tried her best to keep herself awake. She tried to open her eyes. When she saw that familiar, handsome face, the tears in her eyes poured down her face. It was him. He really came to save her again. At that moment, Dario's whole body was emitting killing intent. His cold eyes were like blades. It was as if anyone who even looked at him would be stabbed. Even Lucas didn't dare to approach him. "Mr. Foster, is that you?" Jade cried out with difficulty from her hoarse throat. Even though her voice was very soft, Dario still heard her at the first moment. He immediately turned around, and his murderous gaze instantly softened. When he saw her miserable appearance, his heart twitched. He narrowed his eyes and quickly went forward to hug her. When Jade felt his familiar embrace, she tightly hugged him back. She felt completely relaxed in her heart at that moment. She knew that so long as Dario was there, she would be safe. Jade called out, "Mr. Foster? Mr. Foster?" Jade's consciousness was becoming more and more muddled, but she still couldn't help calling out his name. The drug in her body was having its effect. Only her own willpower allowed her to hold on until that moment. "I'm here." These two simple words were filled with tenderness and incomparable love. He hugged her tightly. Her wet clothes gave off a pungent smell of alcohol and even made his shirt wet. When he saw the marks on her face, his eyes became incomparably fierce. The cold aura that he gave off was even more terrifying. It was as if he was going to drag her into hell. "Mr. Foster, I feel so bad." Jade's hands clung to his clothes. Her face was very red. Dario lowered his head to take a closer look and then saw the wine on the table. His face immediately turned black. He guessed that Jade wasn't only drunk. It wasn't only Jade's face that was red. Her whole body was also turning red. Her temperature was also shockingly high. The bastard actually dared to give his woman a drug. A drug! He must simply be tired of living. "Don't be afraid, Jade. I'll bring you home," Dario said gently as he lowered his head. He kissed her forehead again. Jade had almost lost consciousness. She just kept curling up in his arms. When Dario came, everyone in this area of the city had been chased out. He had brought a group of police officers to sweep the area. The boss of the entertainment industry hurried over when he heard the news. He looked at Dario in horror. When he saw Dario come out, he immediately went up to him to ask what had happened. "Mr. Foster, we really don't know what's going on with this girl," the boss said in a trembling voice as he went forward. Dario didn't even look at him. He just carried Jade out and left. With an ashen face, the boss stood beside Dario. He kept muttering, "It's over, it's over. I offended him. I'm going to die. I'm going to die." His entertainment industry was about to end. He as the boss couldn't do it anymore. As Dario walked out of the gate to the entertainment city, Tom, who had been beaten black and blue, knelt down and begged for mercy. "Mr. Foster, oh no! CEO Foster? CEO Foster, this really has nothing to do with me. Ask your men to spare me." After speaking, Tom looked at the expressionless Lucas behind him. His eyes were trembling and his heart was full of fear. Heavens, Dario is unbelievably terrifying. He is simply a devil. With a slight movement, he felt as if his bones were about to scatter. Besides his subordinates, another person was lying on the ground next to Tom. It was Tyler Winslet. When he saw Dario and Jade, he was shocked. But then he felt nothing but hatred. It was him again. He, Tyler Winslet, had actually fallen into the hands of the same man twice. Damn it, just who was he? Tom, who was begging for mercy, didn't even touch Dario's pants. He was dragged away by Lucas. Dario didn't care about them at all. All he wanted to do now was take Jade away. Dario drove as fast as he could and called his private doctor. The moment Dario put Jade down on the bed, Jade, who had lost consciousness due to the drug, hugged Dario and even kissed him. "Jade, calm down." If Jade was awake, Dario would have pushed her down without hesitation, but this was not the time. He looked at her blurry and charming eyes and resisted his desire. He laid her down and went to the toilet to get an ice towel to wipe her, but Jade threw the towel on the ground. "Mr. Foster, I feel so bad. Help me, okay?" Jade took off his clothes in a daze and kissed Dario's body. She just wanted to feel comfortable. It was as if her body was covered in ants, making her feel extremely miserable. Jade pulled Dario's familiar and warm hands over her body. It was as if this was the only way she could feel more comfortable. However, this wasn't enough. It was far from enough. She wanted more. "Jade, wait a moment. You'll feel better soon. The doctor will be here right away." Dario kept his cool and went on wiping Jade's body with a cold towel. "I don't want the doctor. I only want Mr. Foster," Jade said coquettishly. She looked very attractive. Any normal man wouldn't be able to resist her. "No, Jade, endure it a little more." Dario tried his best to comfort Jade, who had lost consciousness.